And on that, we'll go with question and discussion and Q&A. I will thank you for all attending. This was my first presentation as my own business. So thank you all. If anyone have question, let's do some question. And then if we have a little bit of time, I can show you some of the videos that we have about the raccoon trying to lift up the door and everything like that. Go ahead.
Well, I have a house I've been living in now for about 3 years, and I inherited a skunk underneath a shed that's about 30 feet from the house.
Yep.
We have no conflict with it. I appreciate the work it does with the grubs and all that, the June bugs.
Yep.
I really don't have a desire to get rid of it. We don't conflict at night. But should I be getting rid of it because of the neighbors in the area?
No.
It doesn't bother me.
No. No. Your property, your nest.
Okay.
If you're cool with having a roommate, you're cool with having a roommate.
I don't entice it. I mean, it's just there.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
When I got there.
the skunk is not like a raccoon on that sense. Like, yes, you can kind of feed a skunk, but they like.
It doesn't even smell. You don't even smell
No.
the meat.
But that's the thing is it's really their last resource to use that spray. It's like once they try to scare you by lifting their tail, stomping the ground, making hissing noise, and it still doesn't work, that's when they're like, oh my God, I need to use it.
You never see it.
Yeah.
It's only when you walk out suddenly you may see it. But very rarely.
No. You may see it more during daytime right now, just because, for example, it's a female trying to dam.
We did see that in February.
Yeah.
That there was a nice warm spell, and we saw lots of tracks.
Yep. Yep. And the beautiful thing is like, if you stay from a good distance, from the skunk, actually, you can actually sit there and observe it, and like see how it behave and everything. A weekend ago, 2 weeks ago, a customer set up their own live traps like that, but they didn't know what they were trying to catch. They assumed it was a weasel they were trying to catch, not a big cage like that, but smaller. They assume it was a weasel they were trying to catch because a lot of damage in their vehicle, which, by the way, typically it's a rodent that will do damage in your vehicle. They'll find a way to get into the little gaps, and then they start to chew your seats, paper, nesting material, etc., etc. But they thought it was a weasel, maybe, and they caught the skunk by accident. Customer obviously didn't want to have anything to do with it. So they called me. I just went with the sheet like that towards the cage, going downwind, because that's going to help you. Try to have the wind with you, so that if it sprays, it doesn't come at you. It goes back to it. But take a sheet as a shield, and like walk slowly, like be calm. Walk slowly toward the cage, and I just dropped the sheet. It sprayed. It got my legs a little bit. Didn't smell that bad. It was not crazy. She just did a little warning. No.
I handled the trap.
Yep. Yep. As long as they're not able to lift up their tail or find a position where they can lift up their tail. And quite often they'll be conscious about the wind too. Like they don't want to spray that on themselves. Like I was saying, even when they're mating, they don't want to fight and they don't use that as a fighting defense.
Now,
Yeah.
just a follow-up to that. I live in Calgary, Ottawa, and there are rules of how far you can take a trapped animal away from your home.
Yep.
If you trap it, there's a law that says you take it 200 meters away or whatever. What is it here?
I don't think municipalities itself have a specific bylaw for that. In all honesty, I'm a bit foreign with those bylaws for PEI, Stratford, and different municipality. I just know that you are not allowed to relocate. That's one thing for sure. And the reason it's relocate, it's mean example taking it and crossing the road and put it in the bush.
Yeah.
As stupid as it is, that's relocating.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
did in Ottawa.
Yeah.
You could relocate it, I think it was 200 meters from your home, far enough away that
Yeah.
you wouldn't find another place before family.
So one reason, like in Victoria, BC, with the company I was working with, we were not doing raccoon jobs, is because the bylaw. The bylaw in Victoria, if you catch a raccoon live, you have to release it within a kilometer of where you're catching it, but it's not far enough for a raccoon to don't come back. It's they're just gonna come back because their smell is all there and everything.
If you've ever trapped something, the fun begins once you see it in the trap. What the heck do I do with it?
Yep.
And where do I take it? And if you're gonna go and get it killed, then it doesn't make you feel very good either.
No, exactly. And now one thing that's so far has been working. Again, I'm a bit on some technique that I'm doing. I'm experimenting. My motto, my catchphrase for my business, it's innovation at every solution. So I'm trying every time, trying new tricks that maybe haven't been tried before. So right now, something that's been working with catching animals like raccoon, I purposely set up cage late during the day, because legally you have 24 hours to check your live device. As a trapper, or anyone, it's 24 hours. You have to recheck that trap every 24 hours when it's a live device. So if, for example, I set up the cage, let's say at 5 p.m., catch the raccoons during the night, but I come back instead at 9 a.m. Now, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., technically I can be, there's nothing in the cage. Let me fix that hole. And then once that hole is fixed and you remove the bridge and you remove the problem of why raccoon is there, well, what's your name? Steve, do you give me approbation to just release the raccoon on your yard once that I seal the hole and everything?
Well, if that's what I was going to ask. Is that your tact?
Yep.
Is that to catch it, fix the problem, and then release it?
Yep.
Or catch it and then what do you do with it
Yep.
when you catch something?
No, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I try to catch, fix, release. That's like my number one route to go. Unfortunately, with laws and everything, and how Fishery, Forest, Wildlife Department, Ministry of Environment, etc. Is working. Sometimes it's unavoidable that some animal gotta get dispatched. But when it comes to my business as itself, this is my last line of resource. I'll try everything possible in my book and in my tool bags before that I have to go, okay, let's take the 22 and dispatch the animal.
So are you saying you can't take it out into the country and
No.
release it?
No.
Not on feedback?
No.
And if they say they're doing that, they're just dispatching it somewhere outside of the city limits.
Well,
Yeah.
it's effectively the same thing. If you fix the problem in the hole, fix the hole in your shed, and you just release it, it's going to go to the neighbor's house to find a spot.
Yes and no.
Either way, you're passing on the problem.
Yes and no. So what happens is you causing also stress to the animal, and you cause them a negative experience with human. So if they have that negative experience, for instance, I've tried that once, it's been working and it's not damageable for the animal or anything like that, but release the raccoon kind of want to stand his ground and be like, hey, I want to come back. I'm taking bear spray or something like that and just a little spray downwind in his direction. Just so you have that negative experience of ooh, I don't want to be here, nope, let's walk away, nope. Then they do a correlation of it's a human that did that. So you kind of keep that wild side of I don't want to be near a human. Humans are not safe. That's the main thing, is you're trying to ensure that yes, I'm removing it, yes, I'm releasing it, and yes, it may go under the shed of your neighbor, but they might also not go to it because now you just get out of one shed and have that negative experience of I cannot go in there. It smells like human and it's a void space near human. Nope. So
Well, digging a 12-foot trench around your shed, which is 14 by 12, it's going to take more than a day.
Oh, of course.
So,
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to start ahead of time. At that time, it's probably
Well, that's where everything starts with being preventive. Work with the gray of the season and everything like that. Now we're coming to spring, the ground will start to be softer. Animals start to be babies, wanting to reproduce, starting to look for those stuff. Now it's the time to be proactive. I'm okay, let's do it now.
Is there not a law that says you can't disrupt an animal when they're in the middle of raising the babies as well?
No, depend the species. Skunk, raccoon don't have any law about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Any wild animal?
No.
You're not allowed to-
If they're migratory or they're endangered or it's a specific type of animals that's emblematic or anything like that.
Normally, I don't want to take a mother's raccoon away.
Yeah.
It's just a respect thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, it's if you can live with them there for a couple more
They
weeks,
will.
yes,
Mhm.
they'll eventually.
That's right, a
Yep.
raccoon and a skunk, both, I've seen them, I've had skunks that had their babies and they just
Yep.
went away.
And that's the thing, it's like, as much as you guys, like, I don't want to get bite by a raccoon. He doesn't want to potentially get kicked by a human. Like, they don't want beef with you as much as, why exactly, we're the predator. We're supposed to be the big guy. So they don't want to have that beef or that energy with us. And, you know, as stupid as it is, I kick out the raccoon from under your shed or whatnot, and then, you know, your neighbor have the same problem with the shed. Well, now I can just go knock at your neighbor and be like, hey, no, but not you have a problem, but like, hey, just so you know, there's a raccoon in the neighborhood, and I recommend that you deal with your shed, because like that raccoon live in this neighborhood. So.
I don't think I've ever, raccoon in the neighborhood is not a threat to me.
No.
I don't want to hog the conversation here.
No, it's okay.
We didn't talk about crows.
So yeah, in this topic, I didn't really have time to make slides about birds, crows, pigeon, sterling, swallow, sparrows.
Well, I have a family of crows that I inherited.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've been 3 years in this house. It's been the same family of crows.
Yep.
They've become part of the family. So, and we do feed them scraps well away from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting when you said throwing something on the floor keeps them away because it's something new. If I have a little bowl of food from scraps, then I know them. If I change the bowl to a different color, they take 15 minutes before they
Mm-hmm.
come here.
Yeah, the crows.
They'll eventually get to it, but it has the same bowl, they have no trouble, same color.
When it comes to IQ, like survival skills and IQ, a crow is the equivalent of a kid of 7 years old. So like a kid of 7 years old, you know, I've been using the same bowl for my whole life, and then now you're giving me red. Why? Well, what's weird with it? But the neophobia, the whole I'm scared of a new element in the environment, is something that's really more rodent, for instance. Birds, yeah, birds have different mean of evolving. Like they can fly. As stupid as it is, that's like one thing that's been making them so successful. They can fly. They don't have to be hiding under something or anything like that. They can just fly. But the big thing with birds, so crows, pigeon, swallow, sparrows, sterling, they are not protected. They're not protected under any act. The only type of birds that you literally cannot do anything about it are migratory birds. So no. And the same seagull that you see in summertime is a different one in wintertime. It's two different species. Yeah. There's a lot of species of seagull. But with that, legally as a homeowner, you are allowed to get rid of birds that are not migratory. You're allowed to get rid of nests that are not migratory. You're allowed to kill the babies, as bad as it sounds. You're allowed to do all that as a homeowner, as a pest control and everything, for birds that are not migratory. I had a job in Victoria that it was a LASIK MD clinic. They decided to do a brand new siding made of cedar, because in Victoria, BC, everything is about cedar. The woodpecker decided otherwise. Woodpecker decided, I'm just going to make a hole in there because I'm thinking there might be bugs. We can't touch. We can do nothing. That bird is more protected than I am. So what you do in those instances, well, you can try to use decoy. Like at that job, I think what we did is we put some netting on top of the wood, and then we end up putting like some reflecting balloon. So every time that the bird was kind of coming, it was kind of giving it the effect of something's coming at it. Oh, okay. So it wouldn't want to land. I think that's how we fix the problem with that one. So, but one way it's the same thing with birds, right? They fly. So it's not on the ground you have to worry, it's on your roof, on your dormers, on your vent, or all those places. They're seeking for a place that's safe outside of the element to have their nest make done. One thing with anything alive, I can go from insect, microbes, an elephant. There's three main components for anything to want to be alive and want to be in an area. Food, water, shelter. Now we have that triangle. So how that you control the problem? Let's take one of them. If you can control one of them, you're removing the potential of having the animal in your vicinity and having problem with them.
Carpenter ants are a good example.
Yeah, carpenter ants. So I could do another whole slide about that. I got ants tattoo on me. Ants are my favorite. So here you got Pennsylvania's carpenter ant and Modoc carpenter ant. They need a ratio of 95% humidity or higher to be able to do a nest. When you got a nest in your structure with carpenter ants, it's not the actual nest. You got an extension of the nest. It's what you call a satellite nest. Yeah. Yeah. That nest do not have grubs, do not have babies, do not have queens. It's basically an extra stash of workers and an extra stash of resources, an extension of the nest outside. So with those guys, I don't have the picture right now. I noticed in PI, a lot of people put those styrofoam pad on the exterior of their foundation wall, and then it goes in the ground. It creates perfect humidity ratio for them to thrive and make a nest. And quite often they will literally tunnel in those pads and they live in those pads because the sun's hitting there. It creates moisture between the pad and the foundation wall, which is perfect for the grubs and everything to survive.
Yeah, mine was my deck. When the deck touched the ground.
Yep.
The furthest point from the house where the steps went down.
Yep.
That wood that was touching the ground on the steps.
Mhm.
That's where the carpenter is. And
Yep.
I'm fixing the house.
Yep. So usually, especially with carpenter ants, when you have actual structural damage, it's A, you have another problem such like as water damage, or B, it has been years it's in your structures. Unlike termite, like they do damage, but it takes years of Yeah, they just tunnel into the wood, exactly. Which a termite, they eat the wool pulp, but it's complicated. They make a poop tunnel. We don't have termites here though on PI as far as I'm aware, right? No termites here? Yeah, as far as I'm aware. In BC, we have two types of termites. We got the subterranean termite, and then we got the damp Pacific termites. One that actually will be a structural issue. The other one is just extra food. And funny fact about termites, in which other insect you guys think it's the most closest related?
So termite?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say butterfly just because it seems very unlikely.
Okay, we got butterfly. Any other guess?
Grubs that I would think that like grubs. No.
Earwig, okay. We have another guess before I give it out? Cockroach.
Yeah, I was gonna say cockroach.
Then the same family of cockroach. They're a social cockroach. Yeah, they're not eusocial. So the difference between social and eusocial will be they all gonna aggregate together, but there's no structure. There's no like there's a queen, there's a job, there's this, there's that. No, it's just we all hang out together. We're all pals. Like here, right now we're eusocial, so to speak. Versus an ant or a bee or a wasp, those are fully social insect. Those have a structure, those have a queen, those have a job. It's naturally in their DNA. And there's actually a debate in pest industry and the scientific world is the ant is the actual insect, or is the colony the whole insect? Because you cannot take a singular ant and walk away and make it survive. That ant will die within a day. So the big debate now is to see, is the ant is just a cell of the insect, or is the ant is actually the insect?
Like the Borg in Star Trek?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Also, when it comes to fox as well, it goes back again to inspecting, doing your structure, checkup and everything, like avoiding to have area that are susceptible to be burrow or den. But the thing too, it's they feed mainly on deer mouse. Their natural food, mainly deer mouse. If you're able to control deer mouse, you're kind of able to control a little bit the fox too. So, maintain your overgrown vegetation, remove the food attractant, keep that killing lawn around your structure, like I was explaining that, like magic 2 feet and everything. if you're able to reduce the pressure of the mouse, in theory, you should be able to reduce the pressure of the fox as well. And it can go with also insects, for instance, with ants. A big thing they feed on is aphids. Aphids is literally the cattle of the ants. They will cattle the aphids to the plants, let them do their thing. They will protect the aphids in the plant. And what the aphids use as excretion is called honeydew. It's the most pure source of sugar in nature. So they will eat that, use that, that's their source of food. And at night, they bring the aphid back into the nest. They cattle, they do fungus cultivation as well. There. Any other question?
Learning a lot.
Well, I'm glad that's the point. All right, well, thank you so much for everyone to come. I hope you enjoyed your day. Feel free to reach me on Dynamic Pest and Wildlife Facebook page. My pamphlet are at the front with my email and my phone number. We do have a website as well. That's dynamicpestwildlife.ca. And yeah, everything starts from an inspection. And I would like to thank you, Renee, for the opportunity, and thank you, Atlantic Animal Advocacy Groups, for all this event.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. This was really,
Thank you.
really interesting.
Thank you.
I was just going to reiterate, Kevin's pamphlets are on the table over there. There's also some pamphlets from the fur bearers. They're our sponsor here, so they help us to organize these sorts of talks, and we hope to do a couple more going forward, not just on this topic, but like, maybe birds could be a talk. And then I also have some petitions there. There's one to try and stop the live export of horses from Canada to Japan. A lot of people don't even know about that. That's an atrocity that we're trying to stop. It's not my petition, it's Animal Justice's petition, and we're trying to get groups across the country. As soon as 25 people sign it, then your MP is obligated to respond within 45 days. So we're trying to get groups across the country to just get 25 signatures. So everywhere I'm going, I'm getting a few, because it can't be that hard to get 25. So that's also the table. And then we have a 50-50 that will be running over this weekend. I know we're just a small group, but maybe you'll win $20 or $30 or whatever. So it's
Pay the coffee.
yeah, pay for your coffee, right? $5 for one, or $12 for 3 tickets. And yeah, I'll be over there. And thank you very much for coming and supporting this talk.
Feel free to come take a look on any of the device there as well. And if you have any question, I'm still here. But I'm going to pass that around though. That's called Detex. It's a bait that's non-toxic, and I will give a demonstration. I don't like the taste, but it's not toxic. It's made of oat and vegetable oil. And there's an element in it called titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide does not process into your body. Imagine like microscopic shave of metal. When you put a black light after in the droppings or the urinal, it glow that color. So you can pinpoint what is new droppings, you can pinpoint runways, you can pinpoint a lot of stuff with just that magic bait that can replace rodenticide to give you information on what's the actual problem without causing any stress in the environment or causing secondary poisoning. No, that's just for rodents, mainly because they're a cereal feeder. But like, yeah, just pass it around.